How are your hands doing? Are you paper hands or are you diamond hands right now? Let me know. XRP's been holding the 230 range pretty solid this week. I know it's been a crazy week. We've been bouncing between 219 to even 235. Right now it's sitting at 240. And everyone's wondering, is this the baseline before the next move, or are we going to lose momentum again? So let's pull up the charts and see what's going on. There's been a ton of activity and a ton of movement. And then there was free fall all the way down to 150. That's insane. I didn't even have enough time to load up then, because that would have been a perfect range to get a ton, start loading up a shit ton. But I missed it. And I think if I put in some buy orders at that point, it probably wouldn't have gotten it because it was so fast. But we'll pull up the charts and check that out. It is Sunday today, and I'll get this video and I'll post it up by Monday, so you guys are going to see this tomorrow. For those of you that are wondering if you see a delay, but let me pull this up, and then we'll get into looking at some of our usuals. All right, so for crypto bubbles, we are looking at completely red for the hour. If we look all the way up until the day, we're pretty green. Things correlate, and then let's take a look at by the week. Everything's red for the month as well too. For the year, we're still even pretty up. Market cap is blown up for the day, so we're recovering, right? But we'll get into some of the weeds of that. All right, so let's take a look at coin market cap, the overall market. Please take account into the macroeconomics and what's going on outside of crypto. So we've got Trump, and he's pulling back the tariffs. He does that, right? So I think it's manipulating, but that's what it is, right? That's why I talk about long-term discipline and long-term mindset, because that's going to happen. We can't stop that. That's going to happen in general. Besides that, we are looking at fear. So when things are fearful, this is when I usually load up. I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't follow what I do and say. This is just me giving out information towards what is a good time to buy for me and to get in. And then we've got pretty solid RSI, the middle range at 50, and then we're pulling back on altcoin season. And then market cap still up overall 1.82%. And this is the crypto market. So Bitcoin pulled back, breaking below the 110. So that's a strong support area. And we're looking at a negative 5% on the 7-day for XRP. Following that as well too. So let's take a deeper look into XRP, and then we'll plop into some of the other ranges. So let's take a look for the whole month. So yeah, 153, that's crazy. I missed it. I'm so sad. Oh my, I thought that was a blip or something, but it is what it is. We've got our dollar cost averaging in place. Even if we miss this move, if it does go lower, that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep on loading because fundamentals for this thing is insane. So we're going to be looking around the, I would say 230 all the way up until the let's say, I don't know, 260. Well, we'll do some analysis real quick and then confirm if that. All right, so looks like we're going to have to draw some new support and resistance ranges, so that way this can actually look right. Let's take a look at the week. So we'll be looking at 250. I want to say that's where most of the activity is going to be at. Not 250, I'm sorry. 215. I want to say 215 is a pretty solid area. Let's do 205. That's where I'm going to be looking at for if we break below 230. I'm going to be looking at 205 at the low range. So let's get this trend line drawing out. So it'll be here. Right, we'll do right here. Boom. And then we'll do another one. If it breaks below this 215, then we'll do, this is a pretty solid area right here. Got the low end. There's a lot of volume right here. So 188, that's probably why it was like such a blip, right? So look at all that volume. Overbought down here too. It's oversold. So that's the low ranges that I'll be looking at, and then we're gonna keep the high ranges. I think these are pretty solid still. So we'll just extend these guys out, and we'll be looking at 270. So we got to beat all of this, and then let's see if it breaks down below this 240 range, 230. If it breaks that, then we'll be looking at these next steps and legs. And then RSI is sitting at not super oversold, it's pretty middle right now. That tells me that it's pretty weak. So we'll see. We'll go in depth. Here's the daily, and then here's the 4 hour. Right, so got some room here, and then we've got some room down here too. So I'll set up my alerts, and we'll continue to watch this week. All right, let's check perplexity and see where we're at. Come on, there you are. How is XRP doing week and for this? Okay. So I know we got tariff news, and then we've got a ton of ETF news coming up. So current price range is going to be between 234, 240 this week. We recover from the dip of 228. Range this week is going to be 228 as support, and then 239 as resistance. That looks about right. 2% swing, and then we are holding it pretty good right now at 240. Between 235, 240. We'll see if there's going to be any momentum right now based on some of the catalysts. I believe October 21st is probably going to be a catalyst. I don't want to set dates. I'll take that back, but I'm going to be looking for this week and see if there's going to be any ETF decisions we're going to be looking at. So Ripple did have a announced partnership with G Treasury. So that's awesome. You're going to see a ton of volume as far as dollars and utilization go there, and then usual ETF inflows, and we'll see how all of that works. We've got the support and resistance there, those ranges, 228 and 234 support, resistance, and 247. So that aligns with my analysis is as well. Nothing else that I can think of aside from Trump pulling back some of those tariffs, and then we'll see what the news on that is. That could be a catalyst to pop this thing upwards and see how the market takes, especially with the ETF launches. So if all of those to play, plus everything else that's happening right now, people pretty much loaded up, and they're going to be looking for more of the upside. So that's my fundamentals. That's what analysis is. Just be on the watch out for this week. I think this week's going to be pretty important to take a peek at. Week was just so much movement. I feel like it's manipulation, right? So just be careful, safe out there. If you guys like these types of videos, like, subscribe, and have a good one. I will catch you guys later.